It is warm out here, but we're gonna do this, okay? Do the uncomfortable thing. Like I said, I got to practice what I preach. And don't just talk about it, be about it, right? So that's what I'm doing, is upping my level of content in different ways, just testing out different things right now. And part of that is also getting outside in nature, something that I like to do. So I'm making a space for me to go to whenever I want to record this content. So today was a setup day, also recording day. And yeah, it's hot out here, but I wore long sleeve and pants because of bugs and ticks and things like that while I cleared the area. Now that the area is clear, I am going to take these off and we're going to get right into it. Today, I want to show you my cars that I've created, and they're part of the reset system. This is a framework that I've created as far as nervous system regulation, making it through the messy middle, trusting the process, going from where you are now to where you want to be. And yeah, so again, I'm out here showing you about this too. This is my messy middle. Okay, the setup out here wasn't done. I started to make this path in the fall, so there's been a lot of leaves and stuff since then, but I'm clearing this one little section right here, and this is where I can go to make some of my content that's outdoors. So today, like I said, is a part of the messy middle before I get to the point where I'm used to coming out here. I know the good places to put the cameras. I know what I want to bring with me out here. As you can see, I got my bag right here. And in here is going to be my cards. So these are the cards, a part of the reset system, my first physical product that I've created. So if you're new here, the framework is P.A.R.A, or P.A.R.A, if you will, okay, because we have a parasympathetic nervous system and a sympathetic nervous system. Now, the parasympathetic nervous system is the one with rest and digest. This is how we can heal ourselves. This is where we feel safe and comfortable. This is where we can think clear. This is where we can make aligned decisions. So part of the P.A.R.A method is to pause. The P stands for pause. The P stands for pause. And when we pause, a lot of times we feel stuck, because we want to move in our own time, but there's divine timing, in my opinion, okay? And this is where we find alignment at. So when you feel stuck, it's a sacred pause, as I call it. This means that you might not want to be there, but there's a reason for it. But you have to stay paused long enough to see, to hear, to feel, to regenerate yourself. So this is a part of the process, is pausing. So from each of these phases in the P.A.R.A method, the P, the A, the R, the A, I'm going to do an example for you today in this video to show you how to do these things. We're just going to do one from each phase. In each phase, there's the pause, then there's the align, okay? Align is the next step. After we've paused, then we align. When we align, we can find our natural rhythm. What is this flow? How do I like to move through the world? Not what I've grown up and was taught and felt like I had to show up as, but who am I naturally? What's my natural flow and rhythm? This is learned. You have to learn it. It's a discovery. And when you treat it as a discovery instead of a task to do, that's when you find your treasure, okay? So after pause, there's align. After align, there is restore. Restore is the next step. Because once we figure it out, once we've discovered it, once we come into alignment, we're more in the present moment. Then we can restore ourselves. This is where the healing happens. This is restoration. This is plugging any leaks in our capacity of energy, in our capacity of our mental health, physical health, spiritual health, emotional health. All right? So we restore ourselves. After we restore, then we go into activation. Activation. Everybody wants to get here. Everybody wants embodiment. Everybody wants the goals. That's what we're chasing. We have the goal, we know the destination. We see others getting in. We know we can do that. But the thing is, if we don't do the first 3 steps, we don't go through the first 3 seasons or phases, then you cannot fully activate. It will not last. And if you want sustainable activation, sustainable success, full embodiment, where you can trust those affirmations that you're saying, where you can trust in the new, where you know, full embodiment, you can show up 10 toes down on what it is that you do. So no matter what happens outside of you, you can stand 10 toes down. We can hold the boundaries. We can show up fuller. We can inspire others, impact others around us. We don't need to be an influencer, because in my opinion, that's using outside material things to prove who you are. So that means you need to have and be doing these things. But that's not who you truly are, which some people feel stuck now because they've been doing that, because they thought that's what you're supposed to do. We were taught that. So don't beat yourself up about it. Okay, it's just conditioning, it's patterns, it's behavioral loops. We're stuck in loops. And you can get stuck into someone else's loop. And maybe it was for a season in your life and for a time period. But it's time to get into your own loop to understand what that is. And by doing that, you have to be, which means you need to be more in the present moment. You need to empower yourself, gain your power back, plug the leaks, reduce and discharge the pressure that you feel building up. This is when we burn out, crash out. Okay? So those are the 4 phases to my system that I've created. This is my framework. All right. I say P.A.R.A just because it rolls off the tongue a bit better for me, but it's P.A.R.A as well, because the parasympathetic nervous system, however you want to say it, the letters are the same. Okay? And the phases, the cycles are the same. These are different seasons of our life. Don't jump to the next one without completing the one you're in now. Okay? How do you know which one you're in now? Well, you take my quiz. You can find it at bornvital.com/quiz. Okay? It's also in the description box. If it's not, leave me a comment and I'll get it for you. I'll send you the link. Okay? But this is the 4 phases. Today, I'm just going to show you a quick example from each phase so that you can implement it in your life now. I would love it if you bought my product from me and also gave me your feedback, because I want to improve. This is version 1 of it. This is not the full version that I envisioned, but this is the messy middle as well for me. I mean, it looks great, it looks cool. Like, I love it. This was an accomplishment. This has been 5 years in the making, is getting to this point. And it's kind of crazy because from the outside, in the old me, I would look at my life and be like, feel kind of like a failure in a sense, or like I'm not where I want to be and I need to have these other things to show up as this person before I can present this. But I stand here before you after being laid off from my job last year. Honestly, no real income coming in right now, but in full faith in knowing. That's the thing, is you have to fully embody to believe, to feel it in your body. And that is a journey, and that's a process to get to the level to where you can do that. And you spend the time doing that because you are worthy of it, because you know it's possible. All right, so I'm going to stop here, take these clothes off, because that's what I was doing. I kind of halfway did it and got into what I'm passionate about, because I know the importance of this. It's so important to understand these things. So I'm going to do these 4 practices, is what I call them. Okay. And if you don't know, a part of my whole product, okay, is a kit. Now there's the planner / journal that teaches you everything. It breaks it all down. It's how you can track your progress. And this helps collect data for me so that I can prove that this works. And it can also help others as well, because I can improve on this system. All right. But a part of that too, outside of the planner, is going to be the kit. This is the reset kit. This is your tools. Because I always say on here is how I empower, which is what I'm doing with the content. And this is all free. And then equip you. So I'm equipping you with the tools, the resources, practical things, something tangible you can hold in your hands. It's not just information to know. It's the messy middle part of, how do I implement this day after day in real life with all this stuff, this chaos going on? You're a business leader, okay? You're a leader in your home. You're a parent. You're a family member. You're in a relationship. Whatever it is for you, You're part of a community. You want to show up as your full self to be able to impact again. Impact. I call these people not just seekers, because on my channel, and I just wrote my book after I got laid off, it just kind of started happening. All these things kind of started happening, which is why I know I'm in alignment and I'm going to continue to do this. Okay. But the thing is, I ended up writing my book, which I was already doing these things in the meantime. While I was working and all this, I was still doing it in the meantime because it was always the goal. It was always the calling that I felt. Okay. And I tried to run from it before in the past. I'm not going to go too deep into my story. That's in another video coming soon. Okay. But I'll tell you this while I'm taking off my clothes. All right. But I always knew that I would be going in this direction. Okay. I didn't know how it was going to happen. And this is the thing. It's going to happen in a way that you don't have planned. You're not going to know. And that's why you need to be in that sacred pause, because you have to let go. You have to release control, release how you think it's going to work out. Yes, you need to write the plan, make it plain, have the vision board, pursue towards those things because you need a direction. But at a certain point, just in the world that we live in, you have to allow for space and time around you, the alchemical process that's happening around you, to move as well. And there's a chain reaction of things that are happening that you cannot see with your eyes. So this is where you have to come into alignment, because then you know. All right, now I'm going a little off on this, but basically, I've been pursuing creating this product. I've been pursuing creating this content, gaining clarity in this area of like who I am, and to show up fully as a person. And what does that look like? And I mean, I've been on the journey for almost 2 decades now. And I say that to say that I've been through this process. This is how I created this, was because I've experienced this myself. And so this kit equips you to make it through the process. All right. And I'm going to show you the items that are included in the kit. And I use this in my daily life, which is, again, why I created this, because I use this. Some of you may see my videos and see this around my neck. No, it is not a vibrator. Okay, it's not anything crazy. It's not just a basic Vicks inhaler situation. Okay, this is metal. This is metal. It has a hole in the top so you can carry it around with you. You can put it on a keychain or just a chain. You can put it on your bag, whatever it is, so that you have it with you at all times. We don't have to think about it. It's just always with us. I'm going to wear my chain either way. It's there when I need it. So I'll take my pause in the bathroom. I'll take my pause in the car. I'll take my pause on break. You know, whatever it is. I'll take my pause in the gym locker room while I'm sitting on the equipment. Whatever it is, whenever I need to, I take my pause. And so what this is, like I said, is an inhaler. You put whatever scent you want in there. Eventually I'll have some scents for y'all. Okay, a little at a time. I've invested all of my money into this. I've already told you a little bit about my story, where I'm at right now in life. Okay, and so right now, the investment has already been made into what I have tangibly in my hands, but there is more to come. Okay, but this is the nasal inhaler. All right, right here. Okay, you put your smells, your smell goods, your scents in there. I will have a video about what smells are good for you, which ones do what, and all of that information. Don't worry, it's coming along. So subscribe if you're new here. But what I do, you can just do this. I need more than that. And I believe that most people do, because we can have diffusers. You can have the little essential oil bracelets and necklaces. I've had all that. But to go deeper, we really need to ingrain the scent. So we're going to plug one side and smell. Really take it in. And hold it. I do the other side. So much so that I can feel it and smell it kind of coming out of my mouth. Okay, this is really getting it into my memory. I'm showing my body that this smell is a safe smell for me. Now, depending on what you want to do, you can gain focus depending on the phase you're in. Again, I'm going to teach this in my content. You're going to use this for different reasons. You're going to have different scents. All right. So this first one, though, we're in a pause phase. We're in a pause phase. All right. So I have the scent. This is one part of the kit. The next part is my coin. Okay. This is a tangible item for you right there. Pause, breathe, reset. On the other side, my business logo for Born Vital. And as you can see from the symbols too, they are similar, right? We're circular, there's a center. Okay, this is you in the middle. That's you in the middle. And that's kind of the inspiration for these symbols is you in the middle. And then for align, we're coming into alignment, kind of like a compass. Restore, kind of like a loading symbol. And then activate is full activation. We can impact, we shine, we push out that energy. Okay, we're full embodiment at that point. All right, so this coin is something tangible you hold in your hand. Again, we're training ourselves during this process. Okay, this is a practice that we do. Do it as often as you can initially till you don't even need the cards. You'll still use these other items because they're important, and that's kind of how you signal to your body. But once you understand and learn and practice the anchor movements and you have your own flow, then you can do this at any point, anytime, wherever you're at. It doesn't take very long, okay? Because the whole point is to pause, to intentionally pause, to show yourself that you're safe, that you can be in alignment, to restore your energy, to bring it back to yourself, because there's energy vampires, but then also you give a lot. Again, if you're a change agent, that's where I was going. Seekers, I wrote my book when I first got laid off. I had been in the process of it. I didn't know I was going to do that first, but it just kind of happened. I just used the time initially to finish off the book, and I have the book, The Way of the Seeker, here. I'm going to show you. All right, The Way of the Seeker. This is my newest book, The Way of the Seeker. Now, I talk about a seeker as someone who is on their self-discovery journey, someone who questions things. They know that there is more to life. They've been doing something that they thought is what they wanted, but it was really what they were conditioned to do. And it's not bringing fulfillment to them anymore. They don't even know who they are sometimes. But that's the initial step, is the call. You feel a calling. You feel a pull towards something, and you don't know what it really is. You just have questions, and that's okay. And that's where you want to be as a seeker. That's the initial step. That's where I started with. I started to have a lot of questions because I didn't fit in. There was a lot going on in the world, as it is now, but it was back then. And we were talking 2012, we're talking about the world's going to end, as always, you know, and I started to look into a lot of things, going down rabbit holes. To keep this short, I've went on my journey, and I'm sharing it in this book. And this book isn't just a book to read. It has practices in here as well. It helps you regulate your nervous system. It helps you through each, what I call, gate. Okay, you enter a gate. Each level, each stage, phase, cycle, season in your life is an initiation into the next level of yourself, in the next experience. And that's what I take you on the journey in this book, The Way of the Seeker. So you are a seeker, then welcome. Okay, I'm a seeker. You're a lifelong seeker. You have a growth mindset. We're no longer fixed. We're no longer going to be contained into a box. We know that there is more. All right, I still need to take my pants off. And so after I wrote The Way of the Seeker, I created the system, the physical item that I've been envisioning for over 5 years at this point. Okay, but I'm saying the seeker because in the next level, full activation, are the change agents. Okay, and this doesn't mean to say that you can't be both, because you are both. You would have to be both, because the growth mindset is a change agent. Change agent is a seeker. All right, but I was saying all that to say a change agent, instead of a influencer, instead of trying to figure out what to do next and have all the systems and processes and all these things from the logical mind, which I get that, that's how I am mainly. Okay, trying to think yourselves out of the situation and have the best plan and all this. That's not, you can't do that right now. Okay, you do need that. There's a time and place for that. But as a change agent, we show up, we have a mission. Okay, you know that you're doing this for something more than yourself. At that point, we want to make change. We want to impact the ripple effect. Okay, you are but a drop of water, but the ripple effect affects the whole ocean. Okay, you could talk about the butterfly effect. All right, whatever metaphor you want to use, it's impacting others. That's that one match that lights all the other ones. They didn't need to strike anything, but that one match can light the other ones. Okay? And as a change agent, you move with love, you move with compassion, empathy, understanding these other emotions instead of fear, scarcity, comparison, shame, and guilt. That's why you're not fully showing up, or you feel like you're going to be embarrassed or not fully yourself. You don't really know anything because you're not in true alignment with who you are. Because if you were, it doesn't matter. None of the other stuff matters. Yes, you will have your days. We're human. You're going to have your days. But none of that stuff matters because you know why you're doing it and what you're doing it for and who you're doing it for. This is having a deeper why, meaning in life. Some of us are lacking meaning, and that only leads to hopelessness, helplessness, and like melancholy, and just what's the point in life at that point? And that's a sad place to be. And I don't like that. I don't like that for anyone who actually wants to live life and have a fulfilling life. Okay, so as a change agent, as a seeker, this is something to empower you with. All right. And so that's what we have, the coin. Let's get back to it now. All right. So the coin, you put it in your hand. Whenever you touch this, you remember what you're doing it for. We pause. We breathe, and you can breathe with your inhaler. Okay. And we reset. This is our time to reset. So let's get into it. These are our cards. Okay. The 4 phases of the P.A.R.A method. P.A.R.A. All right. This is our 4 phases right here. Let's get into it. And the whole point of me clearing this space too, not just for looks, but also because I wanted to put my feet on the ground, which is kind of insane because I don't like dirtiness in general, but I do understand the benefits in grounding, and I understand you can always take a shower. So it's okay. I cleared this space. I allowed time for most of the bugs and things to go away. The thing is, they don't want to come to you usually. So anyway, I've cleared this space. I got my feet on the ground. This is for y'all and for me. I'm not gonna just put it on y'all, but I do need this in general anyway, as true grounding, because I've been using my grounding mat. There's a lot of animals around here, and so putting my feet on the grass that's out there with the animals is not the best because of poop and things like that. So coming here, this is fresh soil. Y'all saw me scraping the ground. This has had time to marinate. So this is some really precious material right here. So I'm excited to absorb that energy. Okay, you don't have to do this. It is beneficial to put your feet on the ground. It is also beneficial to touch the trees. If you can't put your feet on the ground, you can sit by the tree. You could talk to the tree, hug the trees. All right, be in connection with the earth if you can. If that's eating grounding foods, okay? And also just being in nature and walking around and breathing the fresh air and disconnecting from technology and just being present. We are people of the earth, grounders, if you will. Okay. But anyway, let's get right into this. Let me take this out of my pocket. Okay. All right, so first things first, like I said, we hold the coin. We're gonna smell the inhaler. I'm gonna do this one more time to get the full experience. All right. So here we go. Pause. The first one we are going to do for this example, core tapping. Core tapping. So this card says, this grounds you and interrupts racing thoughts. So we're going to breathe in the scent, which we just did. We hold our coin, okay? And then we gently tap the area 1 inch below your belly button. So, just estimation. And we're going to gently tap that. And we're going to do this for 30 seconds. While I do this, I'm just going to loosen my body up. This is the start. This is the pause. We're intentional with this time. I'm here for a reason. I'm going to be present. I don't need to go anywhere. I'm already sweating. It's hot out here, but it's okay. I can take a shower later. I'm not going to worry about that. The ground actually feels pretty good. Other than it's slightly uneven, so I'm just moving a little bit so I can get more even and be in the present moment, because otherwise I'm thinking about those things. Okay. I do notice this side is a little higher than the other side, but it's okay. You can see my knees are slightly bent. I'm adjusting my pelvis forward a little bit because that's a true straight spine. Instead of like this, a lot of us do this and then sitting all day and all that. And, you know, laying on your sides and stuff. So we need to get back into physical alignment as well. That's very important. That's also why barefoot walking is good, because our shoes and our feet, that's a whole different topic. But I think we've done 30 seconds. Usually we're not talking and stuff, but I'm just showing you an example and explaining some things to you. I can feel the sweat dripping down my face a little bit on the side. But again, it's okay. I know that this is gonna pour back into me. I'm gonna feel so good after this. Take a good shower too, and ready for the day. All right, so that's the first one for our pause, is core tapping. The next one is align. Okay, so we're going to do square focus. So this is basically focusing on a square. You can find one. I don't see a square in the distance necessarily. I can imagine a square, but this is going to regulate the brain through slow visual tracking. And basically this is helping you and assisting you in gaining more focus. And this is something I'll talk about soon, is multitasking and how that's actually not really beneficial. Yeah, there's some times that you can do that and there's a little task, but overall it's taking away from your ability to focus, as well as scrolling. Okay, it's taking away from our attention, and you have to be able to intentionally have intention behind attention. Okay, if you follow me, okay, it's concentration is another word. Okay, our ability to concentrate. If we can do that and we can practice that, that helps our brain focus better. And when we have more focus, we can be intentional behind where we put our energy and our focus. Where your focus goes, grows. Okay, where your attention goes, grows. So this is a practice that's going to help us align and have more clarity and focus on what it is we want to do, so we don't get distracted by any and everything that comes up. Okay, so this one we're going to breathe in, which we did already. But I'll just do that again. I have my coin in my hand. All right. And even if I don't have it like this, sometimes I like for the logo, because it's more tactile right there, I can just do this and touch it. I can put my finger in and kind of press a little bit. All right. And it says to find a square object. Like I said, I don't really have one, but I'm going to envision one, and I know what a square shape is. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to slowly trace the outline with my eyes. Then we're going to repeat this 3 times. Okay, so I'm just going to look in the distance, and I have my square in mind, and I'm just going to go across the top, down the side, across the bottom, up. Okay. When I do this, I can also use it as my time to breathe. So when I go across, I breathe in. When I go up or down, I breathe out. Now this says 3 times. You can do this for 30 seconds, okay? And then we practice this. We do it for longer periods of time. Again, this is going to help with your focus and your attention. The next one we're doing is restore. Okay, we're going to restore our energy and our body's ability to heal itself, ability to feel itself, and to really know, because no one else is in this body but you. So you have to have that knowing of what's going on, of what you want. Okay, so we're going to come back to restoration in our body. Okay, this one is palm pressure. Palm pressure. Okay, so this one about restoring, it's going to build a feeling of internal baseline, which is safety. This is going to be your baseline, not chronic stress, not heightened level of stress. And you don't want to be labeled as the strong woman. You don't want to be labeled as that person that's always giving and doing, right? When do you get back? This is when we hold resentment in things. So we've already paused, we've released, we've realigned. Okay, now we need to restore, which is pouring back into yourself, strengthening yourself. And we're going to do that by showing ourselves that we are safe at home. We don't need to constantly give, that we can actually receive. So we have to practice that as well, because sometimes it's hard. I mean, I've always struggled with receiving. One, just different mindsets of scarcity, and also like maybe different experiences from people, whether it's manipulation or just poor interpretation on my part, whatever it is, a poor understanding of, you don't always reciprocal energy looks different for everyone. And the way some people give and receive are different. We talk about the love language, things like that. But if I don't know what my love language is, what that feels like in my body, and I can't fully receive, it's hard for me to also give, And so learning how to truly give and serve, not expecting anything, not thinking that someone's doing it out of ill intent or trying to get something out of it as well that they're not willing to give back, which some people are. That's when you build discernment and your gut instinct, intuition, things like that. And we will do that with this. Okay. But for me, again, I said as a change agent, I show up with love, with compassion. No matter what happens, I know who I am. I'll hold those boundaries when needed. Call things out, do the hard thing. Sometimes it's not comfortable to have the conversation or question things, but that's where you gain clarity. And we put things on the table. You actually have to talk about it instead of assuming and making up stories. And now you're ingraining yourself with these stories. Okay. And so I had to change my story, change some of my beliefs. Okay. Have new experiences as well, and be willing and open and vulnerable to have new ones with others too. Okay. But anyway, we want a baseline of safety instead of stress and having to do everything all the time. How do we receive? How do we pause? We don't need to always be in chaos. We don't need to always be doing something. That's trauma response. And trauma and a fear for your safety is creating the nervous system dysregulation. That's when you're more on the sympathetic side. All this is happening automatic in your body. This is why we have to train ourselves. It's a practice that we have to do continuously to train your body to know what to do in these situations and to know what is really danger and what's not, because we're in a new world. Okay, what used to be danger is not danger anymore. We don't have those situations. We have new ones, but evolution, I don't know what you want to call it, just modern day society, we have to learn what is truly danger. Notifications are not danger, but it's triggering. I turn mine off. I don't have notifications where the bubble pops up on my phone. I go into the app to see notifications, okay, other than text messages, okay, and phone calls, which then there's do not disturb. But at a certain point, you can't avoid everything and you need to show up and respond. Things require urgency sometimes as well. Otherwise, they just build up and now you have even more pressure. Okay. So, anyway, back to this safety, true safety in our body. We're going to do palm pressure. Palm pressure. So, again, we breathe. Let's really sink into our bodies here. Release the tension in your shoulder, your jaw, your hands, your back. Get a little more fluid, a little more comfortable in your positioning. Make the adjustment where needed. I feel a root under my foot right there, so I gotta kind of move off of that a little bit. Okay, I have my coin, and then I'm gonna place my other palm on my heart. Press firmly and gently, and notice that pressure for 3 breaths. Okay, so I'm gonna use my right hand. I put my coin in my other hand. I'm gonna place my hand on my chest, firmly but gently, just enough so I can feel the pressure a little bit. I'm gonna breathe into this because I'm safe. I have all that I need. I'm loved and supported. Understand that the ground is holding you up right now. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to ask anything. It just is. So you just be right now. You don't have to do anything else. You are enough as you are. You've given so much. Pour into your body right now. Appreciate your body for doing all that it has up to this point. It went through so much. When you breathe out, let's release whatever feels stuck in your chest, what feels stuck in your throat. Shake it a little bit. If you have something stuck in your throat, let's vibrate it a little bit. So we're gonna hum. Breathe in that fresh air. Appreciate your body for even being able to breathe, to be able to stand, or if you're sitting, you're laying here watching this, you can still do it laying or sitting. You can do all of this. But your body's still moving, it's still here. You are still capable of doing things. It is not over. Okay? And you're safe. You are enough as you are right now. This is a practice that we need to do to train ourselves to really truly believe that and know it. Know it and hear. There's something blocking you here. We need to release that. And you may cry. You may release these emotions, and that's okay. Release them. It's just information. You have to let it out. You just have so much in there, and your well runs deep. And that's great. There's a reason for that, and it is needed. But you could choose what you want to hold on to. And when it's time to release and let it go, release and let it go. Doesn't mean you didn't care. Doesn't mean you didn't try. Doesn't mean you didn't have good intent. Maybe you just didn't know enough. You wish you had more time with that person or that situation, whatever it is. That's okay. That's true feeling. That's human. You are human. That's all it is. It's showing that you are human. Have compassion on yourself. You give it to others. Give it to yourself now. This is your chance to do that. Okay. So, last but not least, we're going to activate full activation because we've just poured into ourselves. We release some things. We pause. We're in the present moment. We're physically in our body. Full presence with intention. Pour back in. We say some nice things to ourselves. Now it's activation to go back into the world, show up again. Okay, so we're going to activate. This one is called the double inhale. The double inhale. Now, I'm all about breath work. This is very important. Okay, and through each of these phases, there's different types of breath work you can do to activate yourself in that phase. Okay, to fully embody that phase. This is activation. So sometimes, like these other movements, we did some slower breath work to regulate our nervous system, which means we're switching into the parasympathetic nervous system, rest and digest. Our body can heal itself. Our body feels safe. Sometimes that feels uncomfortable because we're not used to it, which is why we need to practice this. But now we need to activate. We're going to get that energy moving and flowing. So the breath work needs to be a little faster. And there's different ones that we can do. This one specifically is the double inhale. This has been proven by Stanford University and Andrew Huberman. Okay, if you've ever heard his podcast, he works at Stanford, if I'm not mistaken. And this is something that he preaches, is the double inhale. Okay, so here we go. We breathe in, exhale naturally. So when we breathe in this next time, we're going to take a sharp breath in, take a second sip at the top as much as we can. We're trying to fill ourselves max capacity of air. Thank you for this air and our ability to breathe it in. Okay, full receiving of what we have, this gift, and holding it. And then we have a long, forceful exhale to release whatever is still in our body, to release whatever is holding us down, whatever feels like too much. This is your chance to do it. We're going to release on the exhale, and then we're going to notice how we feel in our body. We're going to repeat this 3 times. Okay, so let's get into it. 2 breaths. One big one, sip at the top to fully reach max capacity. Try to breathe from here if you can. All right. And then when we exhale, we release everything. Exhale as much as you can. Now, this is a fast. Okay. Push it out. So this is your chance. And then we feel into our body after you do that, where we feel like. Make the adjustment. And then we're going to do it again 3 times. All right. You ready? Let's breathe in initially. Hold our coin. All right. Here we go. All right, let's feel into our body. That was a lot. Might feel it more in your head. It's rushing, getting that blood flowing. Things are rushing to our head. It's energizing us a bit more. Okay, that was 1 round. We can do it again. Do it again. Let's go ahead and do it one more time. I can worry about what I look like doing this, but it doesn't matter. What matters is the action and the intent behind it. And as we do this more, we're going to figure out what works better for us, what posture, how much breath we can inhale. We're going to see that we can hold stuff longer or take a deeper breath. We can have more focus. We can do it for a longer period of time. And that's where we want to be, because then it's a true embodiment and practice at that point. All right. So I hope that this video truly helps you. If you found something beneficial from this, you've learned something new, go ahead and give me a like. Share this video with others so that they can understand the process of regulation, coming back to center, back to safety within. They can understand what being stuck is actually about, what burnout is actually about, what exhaustion, true exhaustion is, and the impacts of it. Because when we are so depleted or we've reached max capacity, the pressure is so much, either we're going to crash out or we're going to burn out, which means we have no energy, we can't do anything. If we crash out, then we burn things down around us. We may burn relationships. We didn't truly mean it. But this is when we react. We lash out at others. We skip meals. And then that's when other symptoms start to come up, because our body is not meant to operate like that all the time. All it is to keep us safe. But our understanding and story and conditioning and the patterns and loops, behavioral loops that we've had most of our life, kept us safe during that time. And it was meant for that time, and it helped you during that time. But we are entering a new time. And in order to make it through that, to succeed, to show up and be there for others still, you need to understand this and learn these practices and implement them in your life. True full embodiment and activation, so that we can go be the change agents and make the impact that we want to see in the world. Yes, this is true. Be the change. But that's what we want to do, and we want to do, and we want to do. We have the plan. But how do we do it? That's the messy middle. This is trusting the process. And this is the process right here. This is the process. This is what's happening in your body. It's automatic. And you need to pause. The pause is the gap, the space where we do this. That's why that's the initial step. The initial step. And when you do that initial step, then we can do the next ones. It's a phase. This is a process. There's step-by-step actions to take until you can fully embody it and anchor into the moment, to choose better decisions, to have better clarity, to actually live life and have fulfillment in life and appreciate the moment. How can you appreciate the moment when you feel stress in your body? You feel like, hey, I keep going to the next thing. You can't even appreciate when you accomplish something. Okay? So please take the time to do this practice. Come back to this video whenever you need it. Go ahead and save it to a playlist so you'll watch later. Hype this video. Hit that hype button. I just figured out what that is on here. You can hit that hype button for me as well, so that this can help so many other people, because we need this in the world right now. It is needed. And we have to understand what is happening in our body, and not so much on the outside, because we can only control ourselves fully at that point. But we can't really control ourselves because we're allowing our mind to try to operate, and we're allowing our body to tell us whatever, but we're not truly understanding what our body's saying. We think we know, it worked for a period of time, but that is not what your body's truly saying. The interpretation is skewed, the lens is foggy, the signal is unclear. The only way to clean the lens, to have a clear signal, and to be ready to hear what truly is there, to have a good interpretation, and to reprogram, create a new story, is to come into alignment with who you truly are in the present moment, feeling safe in your body. You can only do that to tapping into your parasympathetic nervous system, and that's what this is going to help you do. All right, thank y'all so much. As always, real quick, although we've done a lot of breathing in this video, what we're going to do one more time. Let's breathe in, breathe out, release, release, release. Shake it out, shake it out. All right, jump if you can. If you can't, just do a little heel action. All right, just get a little movement going. We're ready to go. Take on the world, to do the next thing. Let's go. Give me that like. Leave me a comment. Let me know which phase that you think you're in. If you're unsure as well, let me know how you're feeling. Did this video help you? Did you learn something new? What do you think about it? Leave me a comment down below. I truly appreciate you spending this time with me. As always, continue to shine on. Take care.